All right, so today we're diving deep into India's audiobook scene, specifically the bestsellers on Audible.
Yeah,
It's a virtual bookshelf overflowing with stories, advice, and all sorts of things people are listening to.
right.
Kind of makes you wonder what's really capturing the attention of listeners right now.
Well, what's fascinating is this list isn't just about sales figures. It's a reflection of the current cultural mood.
Oh, really?
Like, what are people seeking, What anxieties or aspirations are bubbling up? I think we can actually glean quite a bit from these listening choices.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
Mm.
So it's like a cultural decoder ring disguised as a bestseller list.
Exactly.
Okay, let's break it down. We've got the top 20 books from audible.in. Everything from self-help to financial advice, a little bit of fiction sprinkled in there, ready to unpack what it all means.
Absolutely. I think right off the bat, we see a cluster of books around personal finance and wealth building.
Okay.
The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel is at the top.
Mm.
So it seems like understanding, our often irrational relationship with money. I think that's a big priority for listeners right now.
Which makes sense, given the current economic climate. It's like everyone's trying to get a grip on their finances, not just to survive, but to thrive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about practical advice. There's a psychological layer too. Take Rich Dad, Poor Dad by
No.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh.
It's been around for ages, but it's still a bestseller.
Yeah.
Clearly, people are looking to challenge traditional financial wisdom
Hmm.
and explore alternative paths to wealth.
And then there's Let's Talk Mutual Funds by Monica Hallen,
Yeah.
like a super practical guide to navigating the Indian investment landscape.
Right.
It's like a crash course in taking control of your financial future.
You know what's striking me? It's not just about getting rich, it's about feeling empowered. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to understand this complex world and make smart choices for myself. I think you hit the nail on the head. This desire for agency, it extends beyond finances. Look at the popularity of books like Dopamine Detox by Thibaut Maurice, or The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Yeah.
They both tackle the very real struggle, of managing our attention and thought patterns in a world overflowing with distractions.
It's like everyone's battling that inner voice that says,
Yeah.
just one more scroll on social media, or I'll start that project tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're craving strategies to reclaim our focus and direct our mental energy towards what truly matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of reclaiming control, Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins, that's a powerhouse of motivation.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of that one.
Goggins' story of overcoming extreme adversity is clearly resonating with those, seeking to push their own limits and build resilience.
Yeah.
There's a hunger for mental toughness,
Yeah.
this desire to tap into that inner strength we all possess.
As like a collective bring it on attitude toward life's challenges. Yeah. But it's not all about grit and grind. There's a softer side to this self-improvement trend too. Books like Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson, or The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Those are reminders to slow down, be present, find peace amidst the chaos.
Yeah, it's a fascinating juxtaposition. On one hand, we're striving for achievement and control. On the other, we're seeking tranquility and acceptance. It seems listeners are craving balance, that drive to succeed, coupled with the wisdom to let go.
Makes total sense.
I too.
They're complex beings, right?
Why?
Okay, let's talk about a book that throws a bit of a wrench in the hole, the self-help positivity machine. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fake by Mark Manson.
Ah, yes. Manson's counterintuitive approach, it's clearly striking a chord.
Yeah.
It's like a breath of fresh air in a world saturated with good vibes-only messaging.
Right.
He's acknowledging the messy reality of life, the limitations we all face, right?
Yeah.
And suggesting that true fulfillment, it comes from choosing our battles wisely.
I'm noticing a theme here. Authenticity. It's not about pretending everything's perfect or striving for some, unattainable ideal. It's about embracing the good, the bad, finding a way to make it all work for you.
I think so.
Yeah.
And that brings us to a couple of books that tap into that, that timeless quest for meaning and purpose. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho and Life's Amazing Secrets by Gaur Gopal Das.
Oh, interesting.
These are stories about following your dreams, finding your path, connecting to something bigger than yourself.
It's like that universal human yearning to figure out, why am I here? What's my purpose? And these books offer different approaches, from Coelho's mystical fable to Das's spiritual insights.
Yeah.
But they both speak to that same, deep-seated longing for meaning and connection.
Absolutely. And notice how Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi fits into this narrative. It's not just about finding your purpose. It's about experiencing that state of deep engagement and joy in whatever you do, whether it's your work, hobbies, relationships. It's about finding that sweet spot where challenge meets skill, and you get lost in the moment.
It's like that feeling when you're so engrossed in something that time just melts away. Like when you're having a great conversation or completely absorbed in a creative project. That's flow, right?
Precisely.
Okay.
And it's not just about feeling good, it's about reaching your full potential.
Sure.
Csikszentmihalyi argues that these flow experiences, they're essential for personal growth and well-being.
So we're seeing this multifaceted picture emerge. People want to feel financially secure, mentally strong, deeply connected to something meaningful. It's like a holistic approach to personal development, tackling multiple layers of the human experience.
Yeah, and that's just the first half of the list. There's still 10 more books to explore, each offering its own unique perspective on the challenges and aspirations, that are shaping the minds of Indian audiobook
Oh, this
listeners.
is getting juicy. Stay tuned, folks, because in the next part, we're diving even deeper into this fascinating landscape of audiobooks. We'll uncover more hidden gems, spot some surprising trends, and ultimately connect these listening choices to the bigger picture of what's happening in our world today.
Yeah, it's amazing how these books act like a mirror, reflecting the desires and anxieties of today's India. Should we continue our exploration of the Audible in bestsellers?
Let's do it. I'm ready to unearth more insights from this treasure trove of audiobooks. What gems await us in the second half of the list?
Well, we left off talking about the search for meaning and purpose. Right there at number 11, we find The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. This book dives into the often overlooked depths of our minds, suggesting we have more control over our thoughts and actions than we realize.
It's fascinating how this idea connects with the self-improvement trend we've been discussing. Like, okay, I want to make positive changes in my life, but where do I even begin? Maybe tapping into the power of my subconscious is the key.
Exactly. It's about understanding the forces that shape our behaviors and beliefs and learning to harness them for personal growth. And speaking of personal growth, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Another classic that continues to resonate with listeners.
Yeah.
It's all about cultivating a success mindset, believing in your ability to achieve your goals.
I've heard this one referred to as like the original self-help book.
Yeah.
It's amazing how those principles, even though they were written decades ago, they still hold so much power today. It speaks to that, that enduring human desire for achievement and fulfillment.
Right, and it's not just about individual ambition. Influence, Science and Practice by Robert Cialdini, a fascinating exploration of the psychology of persuasion.
Yeah.
It's like a secret decoder ring for understanding how we're influenced by others, whether it's in marketing, negotiations, or even our personal relationships.
This one feels particularly relevant in today's world, where we're bombarded with information and constantly being persuaded to buy, think, or act in certain ways.
Yeah.
Knowing how these techniques work can help us become more discerning and make more conscious choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about empowering ourselves as consumers and citizens, in a world that's increasingly adept at influencing our behaviors. Now, shifting gears a bit, we have The Mountain Is You, Transforming Self-Sabotage into Self-Mastery by Brianna Weist.
Okay.
This one delves into the often painful reality, of how we hold ourselves back from achieving our full potential.
Ouch. This one hits close to home. We've all experienced those moments of self-doubt and those pesky negative thought patterns that seem to sabotage our best efforts. It's encouraging to see a book that tackles this head-on, offering strategies to break free from those self-imposed limitations.
Yeah, it's about recognizing those patterns of self-sabotage and developing the self-awareness and resilience to overcome them. And speaking of resilience, The Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz. This is a must-read for anyone navigating the challenges of entrepreneurship.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a raw and honest look at the ups and downs of building a business, offering practical advice from someone who's been there and done that.
I can see why this one appeals to the entrepreneurial spirit that's so strong in India. It's not just about the glamorous side of startups. It's about the grit, determination, that ability to navigate uncertainty that are essential for success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's not forget the books that offer respite from the hustle and bustle of modern life. How to Talk to Anyone by Leo Lones provides practical tips for improving social skills, building meaningful connections in a
Okay.
world that's increasingly digital. It's a reminder of the importance of face-to-face interaction and building genuine rapport.
It's like a counterbalance to the digital overload we're all experiencing. We're craving connection, authenticity, and those meaningful interactions that make us feel truly seen and heard.
Right. And what better way to connect than through the power of story? The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, as we mentioned earlier, that timeless tale that continues to captivate readers with its message of hope, adventure, and following your dreams.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even in the face of uncertainty, there's magic to be found in pursuing your passions.
There's something so enchanting about The Alchemist. It's like a balm for the soul, reminding us to listen to our intuition. Embrace the journey, even when the path ahead is unclear.
Right, and speaking of journeys, 11 Rules for Life, Secrets to Level Up by Dutton Fagat offers a more contemporary take on personal growth.
Okay.
It's a blend of personal anecdotes, observations on Indian society, and practical advice for navigating the challenges of modern life.
Bhagat's relatable style and insights into Indian culture. They clearly resonate with a wide audience. It's like a conversation with a wise friend who's been there, done that, wants to share the lessons they've learned along the way.
It's about embracing the complexities of life in India, celebrating its unique culture, and finding a path to success. That feels authentic and fulfilling. And let's not forget the importance of self-care, finding moments of peace amidst the chaos. Life's Amazing Secrets by Gaur Gopal Das offers a spiritual perspective on finding balance and purpose in a fast-paced world.
Yeah, Das's blend of ancient wisdom and modern insights. It seems to be striking a chord with listeners, seeking a more holistic approach to well-being. It's about nurturing our inner selves, cultivating gratitude, finding joy in the simple things.
Right. It's a reminder that true happiness comes not from external achievements, but from inner peace and a deep connection to our values and purpose. And speaking of inner peace, the Almanac of Naval Ravikant, compiled by Eric Jorgensen and Tim Ferriss, provides a glimpse into the mind of a successful entrepreneur and investor who values happiness and fulfillment as much as material wealth.
Okay.
It's like a counter-narrative to the traditional hustle culture mentality. Ravikant's insights challenge us to rethink our definitions of success, prioritize well-being alongside achievement.
It's about finding a path that aligns with our values,
Yeah,
embraces our authentic selves, leads to a life that feels both meaningful and fulfilling.
exactly. And just as we need to nurture our inner selves, we also need to nurture our relationships.
Which brings us to The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. Classic guide to understanding how we express and receive love.
Right.
It's a timeless resource for strengthening relationships, building deeper connections with the people who matter most.
Chapman's insights into the different ways we experience love can be truly transformative for couples, families, friendships alike. It's about learning to speak each other's love languages and create a more harmonious and fulfilling dynamic.
And it seems like a lot of people are seeking this kind of connection and understanding. The 5 Love Languages has been a bestseller for years, which speaks to its enduring relevance, the universal desire for love and belonging.
Absolutely. And, it's fascinating how this theme of connection ties back to the broader trends we've been observing: the desire for financial security, the quest for meaning and purpose, the need to manage our minds and emotions. It all points to a deeper yearning for connection, both with ourselves and with others.
It's like we're all trying to find our place in the world, to build a life that feels both fulfilling and connected. And these books, in their own unique ways, offer guidance and inspiration for that journey.
We've journeyed through 19 books so far. It's remarkable how these stories and ideas, woven together, create a tapestry of what people are grappling with, aspiring to in India today.
And there's still one more book to uncover. Stay tuned, because in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore the last book on the list, tie together all the threads we've uncovered, and leave you with some thought-provoking questions to ponder. Okay, so we've journeyed through 19 bestsellers, uncovering fascinating insights into the minds of Indian audiobook listeners. I'm feeling energized, like I just finished a mental marathon. But there's one last book waiting for us at the finish line. What's the final piece of this puzzle?
Well, we've talked about finance, self-improvement, resilience, even the psychology of persuasion, but there's one fundamental aspect of the human experience that we haven't touched upon yet:
Okay.
our relationship with our own minds.
Right.
And that's where our final book comes in, The Intelligent Investor Rev Ed by Benjamin Graham.
Interesting. I wouldn't have necessarily grouped a book on investing with the idea of exploring our minds. Tell me more. What's the connection?
It's subtle but profound. Graham's approach to investing is known as value investing. It's all about making rational, informed decisions based on careful analysis and a long-term perspective. It's about resisting emotional impulses and market hype, and instead focusing on the underlying value of a company.
So it's not just about picking stocks. It's about cultivating a certain mindset, one that's grounded in logic, patience, and a deep understanding of the fundamentals.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that mindset, that ability to think clearly and make sound judgments, it's essential not just for investing, but for navigating all aspects of life. It's about taking control of our financial well-being, yes, but it's also about taking control of our thoughts, emotions, and ultimately our destinies.
It's like Graham's book is a hidden gem, offering a framework for thinking that extends far beyond the realm of finance.
Right.
It's about cultivating a mind that's resilient, adaptable, and equipped to make wise choices in a world that's constantly changing. So as we wrap up our exploration of Audible Dalin's bestsellers, what are the key takeaways? What story is this list telling us about the Indian listener in 2024?
I think it paints a picture of an audience that's hungry for knowledge, driven by a desire for self-improvement, deeply invested in building a better future for themselves and their communities. They're grappling with the complexities of modern life, seeking ways to navigate financial uncertainty, manage their minds and emotions, and find their place in a world that's constantly evolving.
It's not just about individual growth,
Yeah.
right? There's a collective spirit here, a sense of shared aspirations and anxieties
Yeah.
that connects these listeners, even though they're engaging with these books individually. It's like they're all on a similar journey, seeking guidance, inspiration, and a sense of connection along the way.
Absolutely. And while the specific books and authors may change, the underlying human needs and aspirations they address remain remarkably consistent.
Right.
You know, we're all seeking to understand ourselves and the world around us, to create a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling, and to connect with something larger than ourselves.
It's been an incredible journey, from practical advice on managing our finances to thought-provoking insights into the power of our minds. This list of bestsellers has offered a glimpse into the hearts and minds of Indian audiobook listeners. And for everyone listening out there, what resonated with you most? Which book sparked your curiosity? What new insight are you going to carry with you?
And perhaps more importantly, what book will you choose next? What unexplored corner of yourself or the world are you ready to dive into? Keep listening, keep learning, and keep exploring. The journey is just beginning.
Beautifully said. That's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of Audible and bestsellers. Until next time, keep those headphones on and those minds open. There's a whole universe of stories and ideas waiting to be discovered.